Good day everybody, and welcome to the introduction of the Red Mage, the first new job to become available in the new expansion, Stormblood. The hybrid spellcasters embrace the usage of both black and white magic, eliminating their enemies by combining their spells from a distance, and jumping into the fray when the situation calls for it. Before getting started on the combat rotation of Red Mages, it's important to first go over the two aspects that largely dictate how the job is played. Firstly, the mana gauge, responsible for keeping track of your current levels of both white and black mana. Many of the Red Mage's abilities will increase or consume the gauge, and maintaining the balance between the two types of mana is key to successfully executing your rotation. The second and equally important part of their toolkit is their signature trait, Dual Cast. Following the execution of any spell with a cast time, Dual Cast causes their next spell to become instant. This allows Red Mages to first utilize spells with short cast times in order to instantly cast their longer, harder hitting spells, which would otherwise take too long to cast on their own. With those two mechanics in mind, let's have a closer look at how the basic rotation of Red Mages functions in practice. The first spell, Jolt, becomes your primary action for triggering the dual cast mechanic, while also increasing both white and black mana. With the cast time for your next spell being lifted, you now have the option of executing either Ver Arrow, which increases your white mana, or Ver Thunder, which increases your black mana. In addition, upon the execution of these two spells, there is a chance to gain Ver Stone or Ver Fire Ready, allowing you to further extend your spellcasting sequence into Ver Stone or Ver Fire respectively. As you maintain balance in your gauge and reach high levels of mana, it's time to jump into the action with your Gap Closer, Core Core, to begin the melee part of your rotation. It's worth mentioning that, while melee actions can be executed at any time, they will be replaced by their more powerful, enchanted counterparts if enough mana has been accumulated beforehand. After the execution of an enchanted melee combo, your resource gauge will be largely depleted, so it's time to jump back to safety with Displacement. And finally, you may conclude your rotation with one of two finishers, depending on the current levels of each type of mana. If your white mana is higher, you may execute Ver Flare to level your gauge with additional black mana, while also triggering the effect Ver Fire Ready. However, if your black mana is higher, you may finish your rotation with Ver Holy, increasing your white mana and triggering the effect Ver Stone Ready instead. But of course, that's not all there is to the Red Mage. At level 62, Jolt is automatically upgraded to Jolt 2, which allows the execution of Impact, an alternate spell for increasing both types of mana simultaneously. And lastly, you may further supplement your rotation with off-global cooldown abilities, weaving them into your combos whenever possible. Red Mages also have their own set of utility actions that further boost their capabilities. Acceleration, for one, ensures the effects Ver Stone or Ver Fire Ready will forcefully trigger upon the next cast of Ver Arrow or Ver Thunder, respectively. Their party utility tool, namely Embolden, increases your own magic damage dealt and the physical damage dealt by party members by a significant amount, but it will quickly decay over time. The ability Manification doubles your current black and white mana levels, and resets the recast time of your movement abilities, but it should not be utilized during the melee portion of your rotation, as it will break your combo. Red Mages are also highly efficient at striking multiple targets at once. The spell Scatter will not only increase both types of mana, but also empower its mana generation for subsequent scatters. The excess mana can then be spent on the area of effect weapon skill, Moulinet, which, just like the other weapon skills, also becomes enchanted at high mana levels. But let's not forget that, since white magic is a core part of their kit, it's only natural for Red Mages to have their own set of supporting abilities. Ver Cure is a healing spell that scales with their primary attribute, and Ver Raise gives Red Mages the versatility to bring allies back to life. And since both of these actions are considered spells, you guessed it, you may also take advantage of the Dual Cast trait to further make them instant cast, or even execute two at once. So, how hyped are you for the Red Mage? Stormblood is right around the corner, and it's admittedly hard to contain my excitement. The idea of building your gauge with spells from a distance and then following it up with powerful melee combos sounds incredibly fun and exciting. And it's something entirely new to Final Fantasy XIV, where players normally had to choose between either playstyle, but not both. But what do you think about the Red Mage? Will you strive to maintain balance between black and white magic? Let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you next time.